Hey, welcome to Devotional Monday with Malea Paul. I have been a beauty consultant with Mary Kay since October of 2024. I'd like to read you a little scripture today found in Proverbs chapter number 3, verses 5 and 6. This is very familiar, but it goes great with our devotion today. It says, "Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path." Hey, courageous dreamer, you've rested, surrendered, and stepped into your future reality. Now it's time for a game changer, deciding for your dream. I often say to my clients, decide for the what, not for the how. This means you don't have to have every detail figured out before you say yes to your dream. The what is your vision, your calling, your deepest desire. The how is the unfolding path that reveals itself as you move forward in faith. A couple years ago, I was overwhelmed, exhausted, and ready to give up. I closed my coaching business, feeling crushed by failure and uncertainty. Everything up until that point had felt life a push, and I was drowning in hope deferred. But then a pivotal moment came, a bold decision to say yes to an old, ancient path. I had held to the scripture in Jeremiah 6:16 that says, "Stand in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths where the good way is, and walk in it. Then you will find rest for your souls." And I knew that the Lord was inviting me to start over because I was to walk this path in rest. That decision changed everything for me. I found clarity, peace, and a momentum I never thought possible. I allowed myself to hear and express the deepest longings of my heart, and suddenly the next steps became clear. Your yes moment might look different, but it holds the same power. You don't need to know all the details of the how. You just need to decide, to trust that God is guiding you and that your breakthrough is on the other side of that yes. Decision is a spiritual act of faith. When you decide, you're not just making a mental choice. You're shifting into a position to govern with the Lord and aligning yourself to advance with confidence. If you're journaling today, these would be some great questions to ask yourself. What decision am I being invited to make today for my dream? What distractions or doubts have been holding me back from saying yes? How can I remind myself that I don't need to know the how right now? That's a good one. What would it feel like to fully commit to my dream with a clear, confident yes? And here is an action step for you. Let's write a simple declaration. Today, I am deciding for my dream. I say yes. Say it out loud or write it in your journal. Then take a small, aligned action, no matter how tiny, that honors that decision. Trust the how will unfold as you move forward. Wow, that's some really great teaching right there. Proverbs 16:9 also says, "A man's heart deviseth his way, but the Lord directeth his steps." 2 Corinthians 5 says, "For we walk by faith, not by sight." Psalms 37:5 says, "Commit thy way unto the Lord. Trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass." That is a powerful scripture right there. Jeremiah 6:16 says, "Thus saith the Lord, stand ye in the ways, and see, and ask for the old paths, where is the good way, and walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. But they said, we will not walk therein. And that can teach right there. That can show us a great lesson as we are learning to say yes, as we're learning to trust the process, as we're learning to trust the Lord with all of our heart. Sometimes we ask for the good ways. Sometimes we ask for the old paths. Sometimes we ask for the Lord to move in our lives, to give us that hope, to help us to walk by faith and not by sight. But then we choose not to walk. We choose not to walk in what he shows us. We choose not to take that step of faith, maybe because of fear, maybe because of doubt. So oftentimes the things that we go through in this life can bring us doubt. And somewhere in scripture it says, Lord, I believe, but help my unbelief. Help those parts of me that doesn't fully trust. Because that is so important when God has called you into ministry, when he's called you into a big dream, when he's called you into a small business, that you fully commit to him and trust that he is going to work it out for our good. If we would just walk in what God has given us, what he's provided for us. And it is really hard. I know from personal experience, and I'm walking through right now, it is hard sometimes to see the how, and it keeps you from wanting to say yes to the why. It keeps you from wanting to fully commit to what God has given you, what he's laying in your lap, because you don't see the how. You don't see, how am I going to get from this point A to that huge point B or C, or however far down the road you're looking. Sometimes it can be very difficult, but I want to encourage you today to just say yes. It doesn't matter the how. And I know that's scary. I'm talking to myself too. I know that is scary, but we don't need to know the how, because honestly, nothing is up to us. Nothing is because of us. It's all because of him. It's all because of the Lord. He provides the way. If we will just say yes and fully trust in his timing and in his work that he's doing, just trust him today. Become decided. Decide today for your dream to say yes. I hope that you have enjoyed this Devotional Monday, and we will see you again next week. Bye.